Hi, welcome to this segment of Your Black Education. I'm Roosevelt Mitchell III, award-winning educator, author, and the disability scholar. I want to speak to you real briefly on the importance of imagery in our children's success. I did a book signing over the weekend in my hometown, which is a small town of 5,280 people total. So the school system isn't very large as a St. Louis, as a Chicago, as a major city, or even a suburban medium-sized city or town. But I read my book to pre-K all the way through the fifth grade. First, it was the pre-K, so I read my children's book and I asked questions about the book, and the kids were very on point. They were very sharp. They raised their hands. They were very attentive. They asked questions. So I posed the question to them, what is an author? And amazingly, a bunch of them raised their hands and told me a person who writes stories. And I was very shocked that so many pre-K students knew what an author was. That try to inspire them to, hey, you can be an author as well, so just tell your story and this and that. So after that, I always have a Q&A session, even with the little kids. I want them to get out their thoughts or their questions of whatever they want to ask me so I can teach that way as well. Q&A came, a little white girl raised her hand. What question would you like to ask? She said, are you going to be the new bus driver? And all the teachers in the room started laughing and saying it was cute. And to me, I didn't get mad at the little girl per se, but I got kind of irritated at the makeup of the district, of the school district and the town, right? Because that's part of a larger problem. Even though the educators just seen it as an isolated situation, like that was very cute of her to ask that question because she know that he just said he was an author or he's an educator and all these things. But the little girl, after all that, after I said all that or explained what I was and showed her my book and all of these things, she still thought I was going to be a bus driver. Because in that district, most of the bus drivers are black. And most of the teachers are white, except most of the teachers' aides are black. But at that level, it was one or two teachers' aides, black teachers' aides, but mostly all the teachers were white. So for this little girl to just view me not as an author or anything else, but associate a black man with being a bus driver was highly problematic, very problematic. And it wasn't just her, it was probably the other kids as well, the black kids as well at that age. Like, hey, the only time I see a black male is driving a bus or as a janitor or as a teacher's aide. And this is the issue with imagery with kids growing up when they don't see people of color in administrative position, in power positions, are always getting told what to do or take orders. Then that plants a seed in their mind that that's life. That's the way it's supposed to be. I'm not supposed to be a principal. I'm not supposed to be an assistant principal. I'm not supposed to be a superintendent or even aspire to be it because the only people I see of color like me are janitors or bus drivers, or in that town, farm hands or whatever. And that's highly problematic. And I didn't get mad or irritated at the little girl. I just laughed it off, but I'm mad at the black men in that culture or that school structure because we have to do better. We have to do a lot better to show kids a different way of life. And that's one of the reasons why I go around and read my book in certain school districts to show younger kids, hey, I didn't know any scholars when I grew up, but now you know one, so you can ask me any question that you would like, and I would help you get where you would like to be if this is the route that you like to choose. But I just want to present you with this option. It doesn't have to just be track scholarship, football scholarship, basketball scholarship. It can be academic scholarship. You can make a living with words. You can make a living reading and writing. And I just want to show children that. And my town needs it, as you can see. And people ask me all the time, how come you do all your book launches or book releases back in your hometown? And that is the prime reason, because I knew that. I had my first teaching job there, my first teaching job ever. I taught 4 years there. And me and the PE coach was the only two black teachers in the entire high school. But the school was I believe at that time 85% free or reduced lunch. Over 60% African American. So the community makeup and the school makeup is primarily African American, but it's only two teachers. You can only find two highly qualified teachers to teach there. But if you break it down and look at the janitors or the custodians, most of them were black. Bus drivers, black. And there's nothing wrong with being a janitor. I've been there before. There's nothing wrong with being a bus driver. I've drove a bus before. But all I'm saying is we need more people of color and more pockets so little girls and boys in pre-K won't grow up just thinking every time they see a black man, he must be a bus driver. You know, or they grow up a little bit more and see, okay, these black guys are only going to go to college, you know, on an athletic scholarship. You know, because there's more to it than that, and we, as black men, as society, have to do a better job of showing our children that. So until next time, my friends, be blessed and be encouraged.